Hi, John from the Historic Game Shop here. In this video I'm going to give a brief introduction to historic dice and dice games. The evidence for dice goes back 5,000 years to Mohenjo-Daro, now in Pakistan in the Indus Valley. Here is one of the dice. And it is likely that dice games, as well as board games that use dice, have been around as long as this, though it is known that dice can have other uses other than in gaming. The Romans played with dice and had board games that used dice such as 5 lines and what was probably a range of games played on the tabula or tables board. Dice are some of the most common small finds on Roman sites, but despite the huge wealth of literature written in the Roman world, dice games were not described. Roman finds include long dice such as this one and this 20-sided die, but these may well have been used in divination rather than in gaming. The Vikings also had dice, but again they recorded no dice games. Across northern Europe in the post-Roman world there are finds of long dice, including those in Viking contexts, but again their use is unknown, whether in gaming, divination or in allowing chance to make decisions. The game of Maya, thought by many to be of Viking origin, is in fact a variety of liar's dice, likely to be a game of the 16th century, played by sailors and has associations with the conquistadors of South America. The game has alternative and possibly more modern names such as Dudo, Cacho, Pico, Perudo, Caquito and Dajino, all of which are of Spanish origin. All such games have an element of bluffing, and some versions are very similar to poker in construction. However, there is no record of the Vikings playing it. Although many dice have been found even from literate societies, writing down the rules of dice games seems not to have happened until the 13th century. Alfonso the Wise, also known as Alfonso the Great, the King of Castile, Leon and Galicia, had translated in 1283 from an Islamic manuscript a book of games to which he added contemporary illustrations of games being played. The book contained 10 dice games, some simple and some more complicated. The book also gave details on making 7- and 8-sided dice used in board games such as tables. Alfonso's list also includes the game of Hazard, which was possibly the most popular dice game across Europe in medieval times and later. Throughout the medieval period there are mentions of dice games in literature, mostly Hazard, but other games also. Unfortunately, little is known of many of these games, and it is not until the Tudor period that a few dice games were written down. Later still, in the period of the Restoration, a number of books, some devoted to gaming, others against gaming, were published, giving details of some of the games played, as well as some of the methods of cheating. Dice have been made of many different materials, some surviving in the archaeological record better than others. Dice made from bone dominate the archaeological record, earlier ones mostly having ring and dot pips, while later bone dice more often had solid pips. The changeover seems to happen around the 16th century. Dice hammered down from musket balls have been found from the period of the Civil War in the 17th century, while wooden dice were probably made and used throughout history, though their survival rate is low. Long dice and spinning dice are known from the 16th and 17th centuries for playing put and take, a simple gambling game for children and drinkers. In a series of short videos to follow, I'll be looking at the rules for the few dice games that have survived, beginning with the games of Alfonso the Wise. Thank you for watching.